Greeting. This is Skylar Saunders seeing what's current. We got to talk about it. It's all over the interwebs. It's all over the internet tubes. The internet is just a series of tubes. Okay. Um. wow. This actually isn't that much of a laughing matter. This is pretty serious. And what I'm saying is, it's quite distressing and disturbing. The Montgomery, Alabama brawl, which took place, I think it was either uh, last night or um Saturday. Let me make sure. But either way, whenever it took place, just a few hours ago, actually. Um, it just was a mess. Just a messy look at things that people are making fun of, making memes, making tweets, making threads, and waiting on spill to come out so they can, drop more ideas. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Mr. Aaron Magruder, the writer and the creator of the Boondocks, had in his mind exactly what would happen in any circumstance that would be filled with niggers. Okay, not black people, not law-abiding citizens who want to just live the best life they can in America, but niggers who want to mess up for everybody else. Chris Rock had that similar idea. The chair was thrown. A chair was thrown. Anytime a chair is thrown or is used, if it's not thrown, it's used as a weapon, then you're going to have a nigger melee. You're going to have just a big mess. And everybody's wrong. The white people are wrong. The black people are wrong. It was just a terrible display of irrationality. Nobody used reason. Nobody thought out. Nobody. They just used fists. That's what consisted of their argument: fists and a chair. That's sad. That's sad when we're at 2023 and we still have these racial tensions because that's what it's about. Don't confuse it. A lot of people are asking, "Well, is it about race?" Of course, it's about race. And tonight, I'm politically myself now. Personally, I'm a man of color who happens to live in America. But tonight I'm political. I'm a black man. And I didn't see justice. I just saw just us. And I'm critiquing black people on this particular podcast, this particular show, because it didn't have to be like this. And I have to give credit to some black people for sticking up, and showing themselves to be valiant and courageous. But at the same time, I have to give a reprimand to the black people that just wanted to see a fight, see a brawl, because this security guard apparently he just addressed these boat owners. I'm just getting it from the story, telling them that they had to move their boat and they were not complying. And so one of them leaps from their pontoon, I believe it is, and goes to him and accosts him. And then he throws off his hat, and then they just get the tussling. And then it just get big. It got bigger and bigger and bigger and worse and worse and worse, and just an ugly display that we have to contend with in 2023, which is very distressing and sad. Now we can laugh and kiki and haha, and make memes and get on Twitter and Instagram and like I said, threads and all the other channels and social networks and social media, but it still doesn't add up, and none of that adds up. These people were wrong, black and white. I'm not giving credit to either side because they both were wrong. I give credit to the security guard for mostly, he was trying to protect himself. He was trying to defend himself. But most everybody else gets a disgraceful card because it was just a disgusting display of irrationality. No one should be lauded, applauded, except maybe for the security guard because he was all by himself. But they had no just cause to come to his aid. There's no reason why you should be helping someone else, or engaging in a fight that you have nothing to do with. It's none of your business. Black, white, I don't care who you are. I'm talking to the white people too. What is your problem, white person, white whoever you are, the unnamed person that was arrested, multiple arrests on both black and white, and that's a sad thing that we have to say black and white, not just human beings. We have to go by the melanin count, and whoever was involved in the throwing the chairs, or not throwing the chairs, but throwing blows. That's the reality that we have to contend with. That's the reality that we have to understand. In Montgomery, Alabama, a place racially charged throughout the decades, through lynchings, through boycotts, through marches, all of that. Montgomery, Alabama, hotbed for racial tension. Hotbed. So you have all these people lining up and trying to get on, the bandwagon, and try to throw some elbows, and all they're doing is making themselves look like fools. And and if you look at the clip on YouTube, they still have it on the Boondocks. You just type in Boondocks and metal chair, and you'll see. It's a funny clip. The clip is funny. This incident wasn't funny, but it turned out to be true. At award shows, if somebody throws a chair and it's on and popping, or if a chair is involved some way, a foldable chair, and it had to be silver too. This is the right color and everything. It was a silver folding chair. It was almost like it was choreographed, like somebody choreographed the fight. But if you look on YouTube for that video of that animated series, The Boondocks, then you'll understand, when he says at the end, niggers. Like, he just sums it up. And that's both sides. White people are niggers too. You're not exempt. You're not special in that regard. You can be a nigger just because you're light and bright and happen to be white doesn't mean you can't be a nigger too. Because a nigger is somebody that has no sense or acts that way, has no morals, no virtues, no guidance. That's a nigger. Someone who has no, scruples in life. So, that's the sad reality that we have to face in 2023. This isn't 1963 or 53 or 1823. This is 2023. That's the sad part. That's the part where it gets to a point where you're saying, well, who are the people that are going to be righteous? Who are the people that are going to think, use their minds? Because nobody used their minds in this. The closest one, like I said, was a security guard. He didn't start the fight. He tried to defend himself. I saw that. That was the first thing I saw. He flipped his hat up in the air and was ready to go throw down. Then some white nigger comes by and accosts him, and while being beat up by one person. Then a black gentleman who was swimming in the water goes over to defend the security guard. Then just a rush of people come in on black and white, throwing bows, throwing fists, throwing everything, they can find. And don't forget about that chair, you know. But it just was a big mess that didn't need to be. And that's how virtually every issue happens to be. It's a small, little, tiny issue. Tiny little, could you just move the boat, move the pontoon, move, the boat needs a clearance here. No, we're defiant. We want to be, rebels. We're not going to listen to what you say. So that becomes an issue. That becomes a problem. That becomes something that's, disrespectful to the person that is giving the orders, giving the ideas. That's the sad part. That's what's, the worst part about all of this, that the security guard didn't have people behind him. Where was his, his help? Where was his, his guard, the rest of his guard? Where was the people that was behind? There's a woman saying like, all we could do was look on. We couldn't do anything. Well, why not? Why couldn't there be somebody that could help them? Why was that? I don't understand that. That doesn't make no sense. That's a sad story. And my my favorite writer, besides Ayn Rand, my favorite living writer of fiction and nonfiction, Torre, he curates, all these videos and ideas and everything. He's mainly like, everybody's making light of it. They're saying, oh, these are the Avengers. These are, the people that come to rescue and things of that nature. And, it was, a whole joke. This is a big joke. The whole, laugh at it, ha ha ha. I'm watching the video for the 300th time, stuff like that. Just those, things like that to make light of it. But this is a serious, racially charged incident. It looked like it was just black versus white. There was no white people versus white people. It seemed there were some white people that were trying to say stop, oh stop, stop. There's a young lady, a young woman, a female that was saying, stop the fighting, stop fighting. In a sense, it looked like that. Her actions looked like that, and then it just spiraled out of control after that. It just kept going. That's where we are right now. That's sadly the state and temperature that America is at right now. We've already seen racial conflict in the past few years. This is what Childish Gambino or David Donald Glover, his song "This Is America." This is America. Don't get you slipping, though. Don't get you slipping. And I can't say anything else because then I'll get a copyright strike. Riverfront uh, communities. I mean, it's just a sad shame. It's a terrible situation that people don't really understand is real. They don't really understand that this is actually happening in today's age. That's what's so distressing. That people don't even take into account that people are being accosted and being injured, and I'm just glad nobody pulled out a weapon. That's as close as you can get. For all the irrationality of white niggers and black niggers on both sides, nobody pulled out the strap. Nobody aired anything out. That's as close as you're gonna get to me saying that this was, some kind of light at the that could be shown and can be seen through the lens of this story. Nobody was shot up. This could have been a mass shooting. Somebody could have pulled out an AR-15 and leads could have flown all over the place. But fortunately, nobody was, on that level. Nobody had that idea. And this is the South. People are riding around with the sticks, as they call them. AR-15s and rifles and shotguns. They're not playing around in the South. You can it's carry conceal in most places. I don't know what the laws are in Alabama, but in places like Georgia and Florida, let's get the sticks. That's the type of time they're on. You know, that's the type of time they're not worried about. Hand to hand. I got a pistol in my boxes. I ain't got time to be boxing. You know, that's where they are. That's what they're trying to do. That's exactly what time they're on. They're more focused on being, included in a melee rather than actually aiding the person, the security guard, the crux of this whole story. He had his, he had to defend himself, but that's just it. He had to defend himself. They call them Samaritans. But that's not Samaritan. Not like the Bible story, which is complete altruism and evil anyway. You can be somebody that can help somebody, but if you're gonna help somebody, think about it as in a selfish way. You're helping to maintain order and justice. That's what you're doing. You're not contemplating destroying property or damaging other people or anything like that. I don't think any property was damaged or destroyed, but I'm just saying for people, the fighting, the melee, the big kerfuffle, the huge brawl that ensued, all that had to be, brought to a point where people can say that they are, a part of something that and just wanted to be a part of something. Just had to get out there, had to get my blows in, had to get my fight on, That's it's like, what is that? It's like the white people, white niggers, they're going after, this black guy, they're going after black people for what? Why? Because of their skin color? And niggers, black niggers, whatever. They're going after the white people because of their skin color in 2023 when, oh, of course this man had, history made in Alabama and another place called Selma, amongst other places. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You think about it, how far we come. It's been, it will be 60 years later this month, the I Have a Dream speech. Just 60 years. 1963. That was the I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. And we're still contending with this shit. And I mean shit. Because it is seriously disgusting. It is disturbing that we have to continue to keep up with this unbelievable mess that doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. So we have to understand that this man of peace and honor, and I don't agree with everything he did because he was mostly, mystical and altruistic and collectivistic as well. But what Dr. King's goodness lies in is the fact that he said, uh, judge somebody by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. So it seems like we didn't have that today or yesterday or whenever this occurred. I'm getting conflicting reports. It seems as though we have forgotten Dr. King's words. It seems as though we just want to use him as a political token and say, well, I have a dream. I have a dream. And no, it have no, understanding or meaning behind it. Just use it just to sound good. Put it on a bumper sticker, or put it on your T-shirt, or put it on your Instagram profile, or something like that. Put it on Threads. That's what it comes down to. That's what the sickness is that we are currently living. Someone of his caliber, his intellectual might, that challenged the system, was gunned down, assassinated for the rights of others, not sacrificially, but because of his own selfish actions. And I mean that in every possible way that's good. He lived a life that was full and full of understanding of what could be and what should be. And what happened in Alabama and Montgomery was not something that should have been. It should have been a mild interchange exchange where the security guard could have subdued the attackers, and been able to, ask for backup, ask for people to, help them, and not citizens. I'm talking about maybe citizens on parole, citizens on patrol. Citizens on parole shouldn't be out there. That's what I'm saying. But a cop, a citizen on patrol, should have been in to rush to his aid. Should have rushed in and saved the day. Black, white, red, brown, yellow, I don't care. Because there were white and black niggers in this whole big mess. They started it, and they kept going and going and going and going and going and going. I don't understand how. Well, I do understand how. It's because niggers are gonna be niggers, black, white, or indifferent, red, brown, yellow, or black, red, brown, yellow, black, or white. Niggers are gonna be niggers, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many chairs are picked up. Doesn't matter how many times someone's hit over the head. Using their fists. That's one thing. That is a prominent ideal that has to be explored. It's something that has to be made real. Has to be true. It's something that has to be notated. Has to be brought down. Has to be made possible. And that's what the problem is. People don't take things seriously. They just want to see something, action. They just want to see somebody fighting. Ooh, 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 look at this, look at this, and it spreads all over the internet. Look at they getting in a fight. They're getting in a big fight. It's a big problem. So that's that's just the problem is. That's what's so important about what we have to do with what we do in our lives. And it's something that's sad. It's very sad. I'm gonna give you a quote. One moment. Mm. Okay, here's something that is very important. This is a quote by Ayn Rand, the wonderful, excellent thinker and philosopher and writer of the 20th century. Her books are Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, among others. She says, man's rights can be violated only by the use of physical force. It is only by means of physical force that one can deprive another of his life, or enslave him, or rob him, or prevent him from pursuing his own goals, or compel him to act against his own rational judgment. The precondition of a civilized society is the barring of physical force from social relationships, thus establishing the principle that if men wish to deal with one another, they may do so only by means of reason. And those are her italics. By discussion, persuasion, and voluntary, uncoerced agreement. That is not what happened in Alabama. That is far from what happened. That is not the case. That is not what occurred. Salute to you, Richard James. Tonight's show is $40. If you want to ask me a question, it's $10. Okay, if you have questions, you gotta attach $10 to each question. $10 a question. Yes, my story, the kingdom of the air, AIR. So good. I appreciate that. Thank you. Make sure you tell everybody. But if you want to ask any questions, it's gonna be $10. I'm not doing anything less. Target for tonight is $40. If you have 4 questions, you can knock out today's target real quick and be close to the 50 club. You'll just be $10 off the 50 club. But no, Ayn Rand summed it up beautifully as she so eloquently did. Every time she wrote, and her writings speak to that. The coercion, physical force. That's it. That's where it should have stopped. The physical force. It should have stopped there. Like I said, the security guard should have had every right to defend himself because he didn't start the fight. The white guy started the fight. And then a white nigger came in and made it worse. That's what made it worse. And then black niggers came in and made it even worse, even better. I mean, even worse than that. Richard James says, I told my mom to read it, and because I found merit in it, I'll get back to you on her opinion. All right, good to go. Thank you very much, Char. I appreciate that. Thank you. And once again, you can ask as many questions as you want, as long as they got dollar signs connected to them. $10 to be exact. All right. So we have this beautiful quote from Ayn Rand, and this is written, decades ago, and sees that it's physical force that is what tears away at a society, at any collection of human beings. It's the denial of the mind. Once you deny the mind, then you're in trouble. Then you're in serious trouble. You're in serious trouble. Yes, that's true, Richard James. I'm not even going to say what you said, and I might have to charge you $5 for statements, but I'm not going to do that. But I just won't read them. I'll read questions as they're attached to about $10. Thank you. So Ayn Rand was, right on the money again, talking about coercion or force, physical force in this case. People throwing bows, black and white, wrong on both sides. I'm not picking. Oh yeah, them black folks. We was in there like that. We got down. Like they're really black people that are saying that they're the Avengers. They're great. They're good people. They came to his aid. That's what's up. It's like not really. There should have been more police. That's the problem. The root of all this is the Montgomery police department, the MPD. Where were they? Why weren't they surveying this area? Why weren't there more cops on patrol? What happened there? Why was there a breakdown? Why did this have to become national and probably definitely international news? This is broadcast all around the world. Once it's on somebody's phone, it goes to an internet site and bam, that's all over the world. That's why it's called the World Wide Web. We forget what the www stand for. But because we don't usually have to use www, you just put in the name and .com or .net or whatever the case may be. So this is the thinking behind unthinking. My thoughts behind those who were unthinking, who didn't use their minds, who didn't rationalize or use reason. Because if you rationalize, that could be a negative term as well. But both sides are wrong, and it's sad that there weren't black people fighting black people and white people fighting white people. It was black against white. Like this was like a prelude to the race war or something that people are edging and wanting to happen. They're steady and continuously trying to push for this thought that there should be some kind of major civil war against black people and white people in America, which is impossible because what about the black and white people that are mixed? Obama was black, but technically he was a mixed child. He had a white mother and a black father. He just looked like he had, more melanin in his skin. And that's how sad we have to be. We have to say, oh, he's black. Oh, he's white. Oh, she's yellow. Oh, he's red. He's brown. When we're all human beings. We're all humans. As long as you have a brain that functions properly, I don't care who you are. If you are a rational, virtuous human being, that's all that matters, and that's all that should matter. And with that, I thank you very much for listening to that point. And now I'm just going to transition right into my story. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to discuss ruler of the kingdom of the air. Now, there's two people in this room, and I know Richard James is one of them. Okay, you got a question. You got a question. You got a question. If you want me to answer it, you got to put up $10, James. Richard James, if you're listening under my voice right now, $10, and I'll answer any question you have. Any question. I don't care what it is. I'll even spoil it. I'll spoil the story for $10. That's how I am. My goal tonight or today is $40. So I appreciate anyone and everyone who donates to this machine. And about ruler of the kingdom of the air, it is about, just a journey. It's an adventure. It's the very beginning of an adventure, and that's the last word of in the story. Adventure. It's the father's wanting to understand his son's situation. That's the whole case, as of this first chapter. It's a father, searching for what his son's identity means, for what all he has been, told and has been suggested to him, and what he has to do to understand better what it means to be his son, or what it means for him to have a son. It's kind of a mystery. I want it to be romantic. I want to have a romantic realist ideal to it, but if it cannot come up to those standards, I want it to just be self-fulfillment. Self-fulfilling. That's what I want as it. And it looks like the people are coming into the room. I see 4 people now. And I'm talking about my story. This is the opposite of what I expected. I expected more people to come in. Okay, there's 2 again. All right, but it was 4 people for a little while. But no, it's about this father who wants to know more about his son. That's basically it. And wants to understand and develop a connection between what his son is like and what he's like. And so what he is trying to do is make a better situation for his son to be brought up into this world, because that's one of the underlying themes that are presented in the book. The story. It's just a chapter. It's not a book. It's just a chapter on vocal.media. Look up Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air by Skylar Saunders, yours truly. So it's very, it's a straightforward story, but it has complex underpinnings to it. Because I may expand it, to another chapter and another chapter until I get a whole book. I might do that, but right at this point, I'm at the GAN. I'm at the Great American Novel Challenge by Vocal.media. There are many books such as Huckleberry Finn. There's Moby Dick. There's the Scarlet Letter. It's the Scarlet Letter. Toni Morrison's. Before that, J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. Toni Morrison's The Beloved. So you have Toni Morrison's Beloved. You have Herman Melville's Moby Dick. You have J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye, and Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, just to name a few. There are many great American novels, but those are just a few to name. And I want to be up there. I want to be up in there, and that's my ambition. I'm a very ambitious young man. It's very ambitious. Standing on those are literary lions and lionesses. They're of high caliber. Despite I have complaints about some of the works of all of those novelists, but they've definitely set the tone and achieved great feats. And you have Miss Morrison. She had the Pulitzer Prize for Beloved, and she would go on to receive and earn the Nobel Prize for Literature. Uh, I appreciate that, Richard James. I'm still hitting you up for money. I'm still hitting you up. It's a stick up. I'm flipping you over. I'm ducking out all your dollars. It's $10 for a question. You're pretty quick on that. And the best part is you don't have to do it. You can tell somebody that one of your mom's friends or one of your dad's friends. If you don't have friends, I don't have friends. Not in the traditional sense. I'm too busy. I have a lot of work to do. I have this show that I have to do. I have my life I have to live. So if I do have people that come my way, I'm saying, hey, what's up? How you doing? We can go out and have fun. We can have a good time. But I don't have friends in the traditional sense, and that's nothing to be bad or sad about. It's just what it is. I'm on my lonely. Ayn Rand was like that. Ayn Rand was said she was kind of lonely in a sense because she didn't have friends her age. Everybody that was in her inner circle was in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and but mostly 20s and 30s. Nobody. And when she was in her 50s, and most of her, the people that she associated with, the ironically and self-consciously named collective, because she was nowhere near a collectivist. But she called, the group that she, had a salons with, on late into the night, sometimes until 4 o'clock in the morning, talking about ideas and reading pieces from her book. Uh, she felt just a sense of loneliness in a sense that way, that she didn't have friends that were her age, but she didn't wallow in it. She didn't say that, oh, poor little me. She said, it's it is what it is. It's part of reality. And I'm sure she did have a few acquaintances that were her age, but just not as many you know as the 20 and 30-year-olds who are now in their 80s and 90s, if you can believe it. They're in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, at their age. But that's the part I want to get to in the story. I want it to be about selfishness. This whole story is about self gratification, self understanding, self uh, enlightenment, self fulfillment. That's what the whole story is about. Everything that's related to it has to do with the reality of truth, the reality of understanding. And yes, as Richard James says, he's not asking a question. I'll give him this much. This is free 99, self identity. Yes. It's all about self identity. And I try to color the story with, enough language to make it palatable. I try to give, the metaphors and the imagery and, a little bit of irony and, action and different things of that nature, just to enliven the story a bit. But I hope there's substance there as well. I don't want it to just be something that just pass off. That was a story. That was cute. Keep going. I want it to resonate. I want it to have some kind of special meaning in somebody's life. Give it a chance. Just give it a read and then a reread and then pass it on to your friends. Share it on Threads and Instagram and X. X. I'm still getting used to that. Share it on X. I'm on X. Like what? Whoa. I don't know. You feeling yourself? You on X? Like that's what they used to call Molly. It's the same thing basically. Molly is molecular. Is just short for molecular, but it's ecstasy. It's MDMA. I don't know the full name for MDMA. I guess I got time to look it up. Let me see. MDMA. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine. That is MDMA. Or Mandy in crystal form. There's a crystal form. I didn't even know about that. It's called Mandy. There's Molly or Mandy. Tablet form is ecstasy, and Molly or Mandy is crystal form. I didn't even realize that. Okay. I'm on X, aka Molly. Ha ha ha. All right, that's funny. But no, the story is about, I want to represent Delaware. I want to represent my home state. I want to represent my birthplace. If you're catching this, I hope you're catching all of this. My birthplace, Dover Air Force Base, Dover, Delaware, and the first state and the capital of the first state. And the capital of the first state. So that's something that, even more telling. You know, that's even more powerful. That's what's so powerful about all of this. That's why I think it's so. That's why I think it's so powerful about all of this. My story resonates, I think, in that way. To toot my own horn, I have to give credit because some of my work is not so great, but this is pretty good. This is actually one of my best work. Yeah, I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in the beautiful suburbs of Newark, Delaware. I was raised in Dover. No, I was born in Dover, raised in Newark, and I plan to live in Wilmington. That's my dream. My dream is to finally live in Wilmington. Probably in my mid 50s, 60s. I'll probably get to Wilmington if I don't die by then. But my mid 50s and 60s, I'll be in Wilmington, Delaware, doing my thing. So we have three people in this live chat. Somebody came in. The target for today is $40. I'm shaking you. I'm lifting you up and flipping you upside down. And I'm shaking your wallet and all your coins and everything out. $10 for questions. Now it's four people. That's great. $10 for questions. You can do less for, if you just want to put in $2, whatever that the case may be. I put up my PayPal. I put up my Cash App. I put up my Cash App for people that want to donate, because this takes time and effort, and I should be compensated for my efforts. I must say so myself. Thank you. So, it just is a story that, has elements of humor, has elements of, sadness, has elements of misunderstanding and the quest for understanding. That's what's so powerful about this story. Okay, you asked a question. I'm not going to answer it. I can't answer it, Richard James, until you give me $10. You give me $10, I'll answer that question. I'll be happy to answer that question. You ask. I don't know if you're trolling. You're probably gonna say you're not trolling, but I can't answer that question without $10. I'm gonna need $10 from you. At least $10. You have people like Spirit that comes through with heavy weighted checks, heavy weighted. That's all I'm asking for is, those special cases, so I can keep on with this project, when I can continue with this work. I enjoy this. This is fun to me, but I don't have to do it. I get deposits from the United States government, Social Security and disability checks, deposits, whatever you want to say. Okay, okay, where are we going, Richard James? Are we trolling? Are you mad because I'm saying you got to put a dollar figure? What's going on, man? Seems like you're trolling right now. And get your troll on, But don't expect me to answer any questions without $10. That's all I'm saying. That's what it comes down to. So back to the lecture at hand. The story, Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air, is a classic tale because that's, part of America anyway. Discovery, searching, learning. When people, say go west and see what happened with, Texas and California, even Nevada and Colorado, all these western states, they have deep meaning because people actually listen to them. Salute Paul Malone. Tonight's target is $40. Target is for tonight. The amount of money that I'm seeking to receive based on donations. That's what it is, Poe Malone. So you can get whatever you want. I'm looking for fives and tens and twenties. But if you do ones and twos, that's cool too. I'll take those. I'm not Choice Star, Mr. Choice Star Terrain. He's in a yacht. I'm in a dinghy. I haven't earned the spot that he's in. I haven't earned that yet. I haven't gotten to that level. I don't deserve that amount of money yet. So they go towards my bank account. Home Alone. Donations go directly to my bank. That's facts. Okay, he probably just checked out. I'm sure he checked out now. That's all right. Didn't need you. Let the welfare feed you. No, YouTube does not pay me. I have less than 1,000 followers. If you look at subscribers, if you look at my channel, you will see the last check I had was 251 I almost want to say followers, subscribers, and I don't get paid by YouTube. I get paid by you. I get paid by people that donate money to my Cash App. That's what I'm doing. What do you think I'm doing the show for? Poe Malone, get your followers up, bro. It's subscribers first of all, and I'm getting my subscribers up by doing this show right now. You have to. It's up to you to tell other people, like, hey, tell two people, say, hey, this goofy guy on here. You guys see this goofy YouTube guy? Just check him out. See what's going on with him. Subscribe to his channel, something like that. But don't tell three people. Let the third person wonder what's happening, what's going on. Home Alone. Okay, you tell your friend Billy. You can tell William if you want to. They've been stuck at 250 for a while. Gotta upgrade the content. Much respect. Well, tell me how. I'm upgrading the content every night. Every night I upgrade the content. Every night, just like I had. If you missed the first half was about the Alabama brawl, and I think I went in on that. I said both sides were wrong. There were white niggers and black niggers. Now that instigated this fight and continued it and made it a big melee. So that's how much it is right there. It's actually at 251 the last time I checked. So I see you're doing kind of like a shout out. That's like when you say something. That's like when you say something. You're like, man, they kind of whack. They kind of corny, But shout out to them anyway. They're still doing their thing. Like that's not. I'm getting those kind of vibes from you, Paul Malone. I rather you send $10 and I can see how real you really are. I can see if you're a real supporter or not, or at least tell two people to subscribe to my channel. But back to the story. To the story. Back to the story. The story has, anything you want from it. Has intrigue. It has. You'll think about others. Stories, other movies and novels and TV shows that have already aired. Yeah, I think, yeah, but that's funny, Richard James. Can I call you Rick James? Let me call you Rick James. You're Rick James now. You're the reincarnation of Rick James. Well, it's not just about reverse psychology. It's just the fact that I'm telling you the truth. I'm looking for $10 out of anybody that asks a question tonight. I think it's very low how much I'm asking for. There are YouTubers that ask for $650 each time they go out and make a video. I'm asking for $40 because I'm not at their level. I'm not at that point. I don't have over 1,000 subscribers. I'm not worthy of that. Not yet. Not at that point yet. Keyword yet. One day I will be. Well, if I'm not entertaining them, why are you still here? You can leave. You don't have to be here. And you say much respect. You're doing a shout out, really. You're doing shout outs, Poe Malone. If I'm not entertaining, why are you here? You don't have to be here. There are millions of other choices. Literally, there are hundreds of millions and maybe a billion other choices you can watch. Why are you here? Richard James, has said he's not trolling, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why he is here, he actually wants to listen to me. So you can leave if you want. I'm not going to miss you if you leave. But if you want to stick around, hey, we can talk about the story. Hey, I'm not your brother, but good riddance. So Home Alone is getting out of the chat room. It's probably going to have to go down to 3 in the live chat. Something like that. Yep, there it goes. There he goes. Number 3. So he knew, when somebody gets real, all right, I'll check that. Let me check that right now and see if you're capping. It's 352. Or excuse me, 252. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Rick James. Rick James. Salute to you. It went up to 252. It just happened to be. I think that was your friend Billy. 252. Now 6 people are in here. 6 people here. I don't know if I was expecting the opposite happening. The Alabama Brawl would probably draw more people, but I had like 0 to 1 person, that tuning in to that portion of the broadcast. But now, I have 6 people on here, and now it's down to 4. He said, "Told you I'm not trolling. Had to make sure." And so, why haven't you sent a donation? That's the real question. Why haven't you sent a donation, Mr. Rick James? You got to send in that donation first. Then I really understand that we can be, on another level of understanding on this internet, idea. You have to send in that donation. But the story, ruler of the kingdom of the air. It just makes that idea of the quest in America, all the more real. It's like an update. It's like a new version of old tales that have been told. What happens to from a baby's birth, and then what would happen with his father on a mission to understand and better understand who he is and what he's about and what his reason is for living and what his reason is for being. That's what it's about. That's what comes to mind. So I appreciate that new subscriber. Allegedly, it's Billy. Allegedly, it went from 251 to 250. So that's always good. And I have 4 people in this room. So if you're in this room right now, if you're in the chat room under the sound of my voice, put a one up in the chat room. Just put a one up. Let's put one in the air. Let's put a one up if you're in the chat room. I already know you are, Rick James. Billy Spleen. Okay, Billy Spleen, are you Rick James' friend? Billy Spleen? Hey Billy. Okay. Okay, Billy Spleen. You know what? Paul, Paul Malone is still in here. I thought you were going to bed. Tonight's target of $40 is what's good. I don't think so. What makes you say that? I don't think so. They look like two totally different photos, if anything. He's doing a lot of work if he's trying to be two different people, signing in and out of accounts in a few seconds. And you still haven't donated, Poe Malone. You can talk all that mess, you're talking all that ish, talking all that shit, but you're not donating. Talking all that bullshit. Yeah, he's his friend. This is a real person. I applaud you. Thank you for subscribing. But did you see how Rick James, and Billy Spleen, had the one up? That's that fast? Yeah, Rick, okay. Thank you, Billy Spleen. Make sure you share. Look how fast he is. You think that it's the same person, Paul Malone? He responded that quickly. He would have to sign out of his account, sign in as another account, and go to my channel. Go, come on now. Let's not waste each other's time. There's too much money on the line here. Two, oh, 2 phones. Yeah, that's cute. 2 phones, but I don't see that happening. He would have to be very quick, even to get on the phone and type in and whatever has to be, even if it was 2 phones. Come on now. Let's not waste each other's time. I only got only got a minute left for this broadcast, but I can go a little bit longer. See, Poe Malone now is trolling. He's a troll. Poe Malone, you can get your troll on. Get your troll on, Poe Malone. You haven't donated. You're a free rider. You're a freeloader. You haven't put any dollars down on my name. You come by. I don't even know how you found me. You haven't even said you got me for the Star Report or what happened. I don't know how you even know who I am. And why I only have 3 people in the live chat. Absolutely salute. Hey, Courtney. Courtney is a day one She actually does donations. I'm not your brother, Billy, but I appreciate you checking in. Thank you. Target for today is $40. Lady Courtney. Yeah, keep trolling, Poe Malone. Keep troll. I don't. Hey, that's all right. If you want to troll, let's get the troll on. Get your troll on. Keep on trolling. You don't see him at all? Okay, I see him. Topic I've been discussing earlier in the show. It was about the Atlanta Alabama brawl. Uh, but I'm terrible because I haven't met my goal of $40 yet. Nobody's chipped in. I'm terrible. I'm awful. Feel feel like I'm in retrograde. That's what I said. But there were white niggers and black niggers, and the whole issue mess up the whole racial fabric. About it'll be 60 years in August. Yeah, Poe Malone saying I got you, Scott. Okay, yeah, we'll see about that. We shall see. I'm going through the script. Everything I see, I don't see any Poe Malone Cash App donations. I need 40, Poe Malone. I need 40. I haven't had one donation yet tonight. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Courtney? Can you hear me? I hope you can hear now. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me, girl. Because I'm at a point now where I gotta sign off. So thank you for coming in. I know Courtney you just came in, but I gotta get out of here. But thank you for chiming in and doing the work. But I appreciate everybody that did come in, and I didn't get my goal today, but I will one day. Thank you very much. Take care.